It's time to talk about the men, and they're over in Asia as well. We've got Tokyo, we've got Beijing, both ATP 500 events, and this video is going to be our Beijing draw preview and predictions. And there's a lot of points at stake because they want to qualify for the race to Turin.
That's right, tennis are back on our screens again. It's not exhibition tennis this time. It is the real thing, and we have none other than Jannik Sinner back in action, Carlos Alcaraz back in action, but no Novak Djokovic in this one. We'll have to wait till Shanghai to see him again, but we do have Daniil Medvedev and a few other great competitors. This one, stacked draw. Excited to see how they all get on in the race to Turin, as you said. And we will be putting out a separate video, I'd say in a few days' time, where we will be talking about our predictions for the final places in Turin as well.
Yeah, the players who are going to miss out are Alex de Minaur and Novak Djokovic. You've got Seb Korda as well, who's in 17. But really no one else apart from them. Neither of them are playing Beijing or Tokyo, so they can't gain any points and help their chances to qualify. We know Djokovic has come out and said it's not his priority. He's focused solely on the Davis Cup and the Grand Slams. But surely, if he can qualify, he'd love to be there. And you never know, may try and make a push in the coming weeks, but he's running out of time. Let's start off with speaking about some of the events that's just happened. We had Chengdu, where Shang, the 19-year-old, beat Lorenzo Musetti. Musetti now has lost all of his finals this year. Despite having his best back end of the season, he's not really winning things or getting that final step. He's playing really well until the last stage. And we had Marin Cilic winning an ATP title, the lowest ranked ATP player to win a title in history. I believe he's something like 370 something. Yeah. And he beat Zhang in the final, the Chinese player, 7-5, 7-6, 7-6, so 2 tie breaks. Really tight it was. And they're the 2 champions. We had one Chinese player who won the final and the other one who lost the final.
Impressive, yeah, really impressive. Cilic, where's he just come blast from the past, just comes out of nowhere. And just goes to show he's still got that sort of championship winning mentality when he really puts it all together on a tennis court. Very, very difficult customer. And tie breaks, he's good at them. 2 7-5, 7-5. And brilliant to see him back in the winners column.
Well, you've changed your tune massively because off the podcast you were saying how easy the draw was of Cilic. Are you a big fan of him all of a sudden?
Well, we can go through the draw if you really want to. I'll have a quick look at the draw. Thanks for reminding me of my pre.
You're very dismissive of it, and all of a sudden you come to the episode and you're loving him.
Well, I'm loving Cilic, but I'm thinking the draw. I've not seen one which is quite so favourable to be able to grab this. Well, that's the only one in there that I'd probably say was the really tough one, to be honest. He did well to beat him. Zhang as well, but up to there, I'd say Svaja, Nishioka, Uchiyama. I don't think it's the toughest way to get to a semi-final. And then to beat Nakashima, I thought that was really good. And then the final to win it in straight sets as well. Any final's difficult, so to do it from nearly 400 in the world, I think is impressive from Marin Cilic. Will we see him back closing in on a top 100, top 50? Could we even say top 10 again for Marin Cilic? Maybe that's a bit too much to ask. But
well, he's playing tomorrow, and he's playing Kai Nishikori in Japan, in Tokyo. Ooh. So it doesn't get much bigger than that. That's going to be a tough one. The crowd will be up for it. But we're not speaking about Tokyo. We're speaking about Beijing. We've done our preview on the women's. That's a Masters event. This is an ATP 500, so still some points at stake. And you look at the previous champions. Jannik Sinner famously beating Daniil Medvedev. It was the time when his whole season and career turned around. He threw up and was just from that moment on another player. There was no event 2020-22, and before that, Djokovic dominance, and then a bit of a free-for-all. Bashashvili, I remember that one. And Dominic Thiem beating Stefanos Tsitsipas, another one where we started the podcast. Was it just before the podcast? I think we were talking about it maybe, but we didn't cover any live matches. But yeah, nothing really to speak about with the last matches. Djokovic was very good. He's not here now. Sinner, Medvedev. It suits that style of player. So keep that in mind. Of course, it is a hard court, so it's to be expected.
Yeah, serving dominance. And I remember last year's final all too well. Jannik Sinner, it was when he finally turned the corner against Daniil Medvedev. All of those defeats in a row came to an end.
We all predicted Medvedev in straights, I remember. Everyone was thinking there's no way Sinner wins it. And then look where he's become. Like, he's now world number one and the best player in the world.
And the tie-break master of the world.
Yep.
And this, how crazy is it that he can turn his fortunes around just in, I would say not just one match, but it just felt like that one match was the turning point of Jannik Sinner's career. And he'll always have a fond memory of Beijing in his heart now, because he'll never be able to forget it, because every time we see him win anything, every post is him being sick in a bin and then counting how many days it was since, and all the tournaments and wins he had since he was sick in that bin. But anyway, that's enough of talking about sick in a bin. Let's talk about who's going to win in Beijing. Oh, you could talk about the qualifiers as well. Let's go
because
to that
there's some good ones. There is some good ones. We've still got another round of qualifying. We've got Zizou Bergs playing with Tet. We've got Buena playing Kotov. Safulin against Batista Agut. Rinderknecht versus Mensik. And Mensik is the pick of the bunch. I think we know what Agut can do, or Safulin. There's some good players. Zizou Bergs as well. I quite liked him at the Davis Cup, despite him losing. It was just fascinating to watch him play against Italy. I thought he played some good shots and was a bit unlucky at times. Definitely a player for the future. Did he beat anyone, Zizou Bergs, when he played? Because he definitely played really well. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, so he beat Caboli, that's right. He bageled him in that final set. So yeah, he won his match. But then he lost, because that's right. He beat Caboli, and then he lost to him at the US Open before, because I remember laughing with my dad about that. And Zizou Bergs is seriously good. He won his first round against Hanfmann in the qualifying, 6-2, 6-4. And probably him or Mensik is my two players. I'm going to have two. I'm going to have both of them. Mensik and Bergs as my players to watch.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if both of them go out in the final round of qualifying. That'll be bad, but I assume that they should both go through. Mensik especially, he is the real deal. I think everyone can agree. Very young, but very, very talented, as we've seen in the Grand Slams recently. Can't wait to see his trajectory keep on going up. Let's get to the draw now, please, JG. And if you are joining us at home, please download the TNNS app and follow us in the Game to Love Fantasy League. Play along against me and JG. And yeah, see if you can beat us. This one should be quite a tough one. I'm hoping not for the 1, 2, 3, 4 like I normally go for. Let's see if we can get something a bit different.
Is that what happens after midnight? You just put an aeroplane voice on. The exits on the left, on the right, seatbelts fastened.
And are we ready to take off, everybody? Yes, I believe we are. So
I think
here
when
we
you
go.
get tired, you just go into like an aeroplane mode.
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Well, it is coming up to 1 a.m. in the morning. And on landing, it will be about 23 degrees. So you'll be happy about that. No, probably more in Beijing, to be honest. Right, starting off with the draw. We got Sinner versus Jarry is a first-round match. What a great cracker of a match to start us off. But I don't see there being any problems for the reigning champion, Jannik Sinner.
He's rested. He's just won the US Open. He avoided the Labour Cup. And he's ready for this, I think. I think he's just in the zone. And it's going to be tough to beat him here. I'm going to have Struff beating Wawrinka. Lehechka beating Martinez. Dimitrov to beat the qualifier.
Yep.
Rublev to beat Busta.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Zhang to beat Fokina.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll have Shang to beat Bu.
Yep. I would as well. Musetti against, if it's Mensik, I'll go Mensik, but it's tough to say at the moment. I'll go with Musetti for now, but if I will change it if we find out that is Mensik.
What about if it's Bergs?
No, I'll stick with Musetti if it's Bergs.
Bublik to beat Caboli.
Ooh, going against the Italians. All right, I'll go with it.
Marazan, Sonego. Monfils, Medvedev. That's a really good first round, isn't it? Gosh.
Yes, that is a brilliant first round. Monfils, the resurgence of Gale this year. Love to see it. Beat Carlos Alcaraz earlier in the year as well. Can he beat Daniel Medvedev and keep the run going? He just lost, didn't he, Medvedev, to Ben Shelton at the Laver Cup.
I don't count Laver Cup. And do you know what's weird as well when you say that? Monfils beat Alcaraz, but yeah, he was just unable to beat Djokovic ever. All them times, and he beat Alcaraz, but he just couldn't ever beat Djokovic.
Beat someone.
Will he get another chance? Don't think so.
Nah, doesn't look like it. I'm going to go Medvedev anyway. I think too fresh in that early round.
I'll have Karen winning, Sorundalo.
Yep.
Greek sport to beat Kuzmanovic.
Not for me. I'm going to go Kets. And
Alcaraz at the bottom. He's looking good at the moment, Alcaraz.
Yes.
But could he get burnt out? He's played just too much, hasn't he? We're going to speak about this on another episode, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got a Sinner Alcaraz special episode lined up. That'll be coming maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, wait and see. Definitely this week as well. We're going to be pumping out these episodes. Obviously, ATP Tour Finals coming up. And lots of tennis. Yeah, the ATP finals coming up. Yep. We got Jannik Sinner to beat Struff. I believe it'll be 2 tie breaks.
I think it'll be 2 and a 3. I'll go
Lehechka to beat Dimitrov.
Nah, Dimitrov to beat Lehechka. Rublev to beat Zhang.
I'm going to go with Rublev going out to Zhang.
Musetti's Zhang, I repeat, they're going to play again. Oh, how sad. I think Musetti's going to beat him this time, that's the thing, because I feel Musetti's better when he's not a final. He just can't handle the finals. He's a bit of a bottler, Musetti, I'm sorry. He's a very good player, but he is a bottler.
He is a bit, I agree, but I'm not even going to have him going through. I think China...
Not going to lose again.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it. I think the men's 6 going to play him for some reason. I've just got a feeling.
I'll have Marazan beating Bublik.
Nah, the boob for me. He goes through.
Medvedev to beat Sonego. Sorundalo to beat Hachanov.
I'm going to go Hachanov. Big
Sorundalo was so good, by the way.
Yeah,
against in the Davis Cup against the Brit, Jack Draper. I enjoyed that match. I did watch a lot of the Davis Cup. Pretty much all of it.
I didn't watch much of the
really
Brits.
I did watch it as well.
I didn't watch much of the Brits. Nah, I mean, it just fell apart. Wasn't the same Draper from the US Open, was it? And
Alcaraz, definitely.
Well, Kecmanovic has given him good matches in the past. Mate,
these quarterfinals are crazy, by the way. We got some serious players in the quarterfinals. I've not got to the 1 to 8, but I've got a lot of the big seeds here. I'm going to have Sinner beating Dimitrov.
Sinner to beat Lehechka, but 3 sets.
I'm going to go Musetti to beat Rublev.
Shang to beat Zhang.
Medvedev to beat Marazan.
Yeah, Medvedev Bublik's like a battle of just 2 piss takers. I like it.
And Alcaraz will beat Sorundalo.
Yeah, Alcaraz will beat Hachanov. I don't think that's...
I really hope we do get a Sinner Alcaraz final, really, looking at it now. I think we're due one.
The
tennis, well, we've missed out on quite a few recently.
Could this be a factor in our deciding who's had a better 2024 if they were to their back end of the year?
No.
What do you mean?
Well, we'll find out. Let's save it for the episode.
Well, that's it.
I've got 2 Italians at the top, Sinner, Musetti, but I think Sinner will beat him.
Sinner to beat Shang. I think Shang a bit too green.
And I reckon Alcaraz will beat Medvedev. Could be. It's always tougher against Medvedev. If he really turns up, he can beat anyone, but I think Alcaraz is just going to win this one. Just about, maybe in 3.
Medvedev's been too up and down, especially on hard courts this year. I'm going to have Alcaraz as well. Been more impressive. I know people go, did you see him at the US Open? Yeah, I think it was a bit of a shock one, that one. I'm not going to read too much into that. Who was the
shock?
The Alcaraz one against...
Oh, right, yeah, that was...
Butik
I can't quite understand that, by the way. I'm still finding it quite troubling. Because Butik was so bad in the match afterwards. It was just bizarre. It's like Djokovic entered his body for like a few hours, and that was that.
Yeah, I don't know what...
was terrible. Is he going to be terrible in this final? No. I think we're going to see a good match. But I think Sinner's going to be physically in better condition. I have a feeling he's just a different guy right now. And I think Sinner beats Alcaraz in the final, and we could see a classic.
Yeah, I feel like, isn't it weird? Just all of the time that he's had off and all of this stuff, even though there's been weird stuff circulating around and bad news, that type of thing, it's all just been at the benefit of Sinner. And Alcaraz has just been complaining, I'm playing too much tennis. And come the back end of the year, Alcaraz tends to fall apart a bit after the US Open. So I think Jannik Sinner, this is his time to shine. We've got the indoor hard courts to come. Well, it's going to be really tough to stop Jannik Sinner coming into Turin, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give a dark horse because this is not a tournament for dark horses. We're going to see a big hitter. We're going to see a big name win it.
Lehechka.
Mate, I don't think there's no chance at anyone who's not one of the top 8 seeds to win this event. It's going to be littered with the very best players at the back end of the event. You may say Shang, I'll let you have your one, but I don't have any dark horses. I think we're going to see the players fighting for the points, and they're all going to be at the business end, which hopefully is going to be good viewing. Because on paper, it means we're going to get a really good spectacle, but I don't know. Sometimes people prefer the upsets.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd much prefer to see those two in the final. That will be a massive spectacle. There'll be a lot of hype around it as well. And plus, they are the two standout players of 2024. I mean, now Djokovic has sort of put the year to bed. I want to see those two in as many finals as possible for the rest of this year. And that is the match on paper everyone wants to see, isn't it? Sinner, Alcaraz, and 2 Grand Slams apiece so far this year. Who's going to have the best 2024?
Yeah, there we go. Let's wrap it up there. We're going to be watching as much as possible. The timings are always tough when it's in China, but we'll be trying to bring you as many podcasts, post-match reactions and previews and predictions as possible as the events go on. We'll also be doing the women's. We've just done a draw preview for that, so go check it out if you haven't seen it. And thanks for watching. Make sure like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon.